Colin Edwards is 56. He lives with his partner Heidi in Devon in the southwest of the UK and has been running for the last 10 years. His latest goal is to run the Ocean Floor Race in 2013, which is a non-stop 160-mile ultramarathon through the Egyptian White Desert. The most amazing thing about Colin doing this challenge is that he only has one leg.
Originally, I had a motorcycle accident when I was 19. At that instance, when I had the motorcycle accident, they managed to save my leg. Luckily, there was a visiting surgeon from Canada who specialised in vascular surgery, and they managed to remove a vein from this leg and put it into my damaged leg. So they managed to save my leg then. But over the years, as I grew older and as things happened, I had more and more chronic problems with my damaged legs. Sorry. And when I was in my late 30s, because of the chronic problems, I just kept on having to go into the Royal Devon and Exeter Hospital. And one day a surgeon said, "Have you ever considered having your leg amputated?" And to me, when he said that, it just seemed like a complete solution to all this chronic problem I had and I had about 5 different operations to straighten out toes, and I had hypersensation, no sensation, lack of blood supply, muscle wasting. It was a real problem, and it just seemed like a really good solution. I had the amputation done when I was in my late 30s, and I got to say, for the first 5 years to 6 years after I had my amputation done, I thought it was the wrong decision. I really did. The technology at the time was crap. It really was bad. The way of keeping a leg on what's called a supercondylar. It got smaller after the knee, therefore that's the only reason that kept it on. So I was farming at the time, and regularly I would jump over a gate and my leg would be left on the other side of the gate. I'll be running through mud and all of a sudden my leg would be left in the mud. So it was pretty poor, and with all this pistoning of the stump in and out of the socket, you were bound to get sores. Then a new system came along called an ice system, which is basically a roll-on silicone sheath. And this roll-on silicone sheath came rolling up your leg, and it had a titanium pin at the bottom of it which clicked into the leg. And the moment I tried that, and because of my high activity previous to this system coming out, I was asked to trial this type of leg. And as soon as I tried it on with a carbon fibre socket, and it was a quantum leap. All of a sudden, my leg was where it should be. It didn't, you know, there's none of this 2 inches delay when you lifted your leg up. It didn't, you know, it was always with you, and it felt light. And there's always the thing, when your leg feels light, it's fitting well and it's good. And from that point, then, I was still farming, but all of a sudden I could catch my sheep rather than the sheep being away from me. You know, I could go up the hills, and it was brilliant. It was really brilliant. And from that point, I was definitely better off than I was with my residual limb. You know, again, there was a possibility of running. When I had my old limb, you know, my damaged limb, there was no way I could have ran. And from then, things really grew, and I joined a group of runners, the Hashhound Harriers, and they run almost exclusively off-road. And off-road running is so much better for me because it's soft underfoot, and it's more demanding up here, so it gives you a reward. You know, there's a reward. It's not like pavement pounding all the time where, you know, all you want to do is to get to the end of the run. When you're running off-road and in the countryside, there's always something going on. You've got to be aware of where your feet are going, you know, where rocks are, tripping. And I do trip over a fair bit. So I started really running properly when I started running on Monday evenings with the Hashhound Harriers. I think all this running now has meant not only something to me, but obviously I've become an inspiration to other people, which wasn't what I set out to do. But other amputees start asking me. I do lots of talks for amputees, and I really enjoy where I am at the moment. And as my running grew and grew, I realised that I could raise money for local charities, and particularly a charity I'm a trustee of called Porter. And I gain so much from it, and yet I can also give quite a lot back from it. From all this running, the idea that was conceived of running the Southwest Coastal Path, which is 630 miles and an ascent over 4 times the height of Everest. I don't really think that when I came up with the plan or the concept of doing it, I really understood what I had undertaken, or was undertaking to do. And it's only really, I think, when I first started the challenge, the Southwest Coastal Path Challenge, I think it's only really when I started that I understood what I was undertaking. I've learnt since that with any really big challenge like that, the concept is to peg away at it. You start off, if you're going to do 100 miles, 1 mile is nowhere. Once you've done 10 miles, you're 1/10 of the way. And once you've done 20 miles, you're 1/5 of the way. And you've got to kind of peg away at it. It's like picking away at a rock. Eventually you're going to get through it. And I think I felt that after the first day of the coastal challenge, I'd done 13 miles, and 13 miles out of 630 miles is nowhere. Where are you? But once you've done 50 miles, you're halfway to 100 miles, and 100 miles is 1/6 of the way. So once you've done 100 miles, you're 1/6 of the way, and then you just peg away at it like that, and all of a sudden, before you realise it, you're at 300 miles, and you're halfway there. You're halfway there, and once you're halfway there, then you're kind of mentally running downhill. Then, and then all of a sudden, you're nearly at the end, and you don't want to stop. You almost want to go back to where you're at 400 miles, so you can carry it on. I can't express how much of a goal and how much that particular run meant to me, because it was something that when I first started, I didn't think I was going to complete, and then I did complete it, and it meant personally it meant a whole lot to me. It meant a whole lot to me. It raised a lot of money for charity. Over nearly £10,000 I raised for my charity. But it was the personal goal that meant more to me personally than that. When I finished the run, I took 2 weeks almost bed rest, but after that I had to start work again. And I'm a contractor. I do farming, contracting, fencing, concrete yards and things like that. I had a big concrete yard to do. During the period of that work, my leg just continued to swell up. I had to see the surgeon who originally did the amputation, and I had a big infection at the back of my stump, and I had the reason for this infection was twofold: from that sore that I had when I was running the Southwest Path, and also I had grown a whole lot of bone, which is the body's natural reaction to protecting a raw bone edge. So I'd grown about 2 inches of bone, which shouldn't be there, and it all had to be tidied up. Anyway, I'm back now. I'm wearing my prosthesis again, and I'm really positive this time that they've sorted the problem out. And with the operation that they've done, I should actually be better off in the long run. Once I'm going to have to probably be recast. They're going to have to make a new casting for me. But I'm probably going to be better off in the long run than I was when I started my coastal run. Next year I'll be taking part in the ocean floor race. The ocean floor race is in Egypt. As it's suggested, it's on the ocean floor, or it used to be the ocean floor. It's 160 miles, and it's to be completed in 4 days. You have 4 days to complete it. So that's 40 miles a day in quite extreme temperatures. The only benefit from my point of view is there's not a great deal of ascent. The underfoot going can be variable. from sand to rock to hard pan. Am I worried about it? Yeah, I think I am. But then if you're not worried about things like this, then you're not tuned in, I don't think. You need to be frightened of these things, I think. Otherwise you're not going to compete. I'm looking forward to it because the scenery, from what I've seen, is absolutely spectacular. It's almost like a dried up riverbed, and there's these limestone sculptures. Being in Egypt, I'm a little bit worried about the heat. But then, if you don't do these things, you know, you wouldn't leave England, would you? So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be good fun. And a real challenge. Ocean floor race. I don't think I'll be considering it as a race, as so much as a challenge, as a completion challenge. My goal, my personal ambition, will be to finish the challenge, to be able to do the 40 miles a day and the 160 miles at the end of it. And I've done loads of challenges before. The Grizzly, last year I ran 630 miles around the southwest coastal path with 4 times the ascent of Everest. But this is a different challenge. There's a time limit, there's a time window, the conditions are going to be really exacting. Bring it on.
To see more details of Colin's challenge, the Ocean Floor Race, please go to the event website.